But like, aren't there like a lot of people who have like problems with you, or like the way you're gonna handle things, or it's against their business as well?
We don't have problem with nobody. The thing is, as American naval officer, high-ranking officer told me in Seoul, in Hamilton Hotel in 2008, when they asked me to attend a meeting to see their officials. They said the problem with me is that I don't talk. As a scientist, I'm not a theoretical physicist. What I talk, I make systems that shows the reality of what I talk. I'm an engineer. So when I think of something, I can physically make the system and show it. And this is the problem with what I do. When I say we can lift, we understand the gravity and magnetic fields, we build a system to prove the technology. I build everything physically from A to Z. And then we test it and it works. It's the same what we've done with medical applications. In 2008, when there was a girl in coma in a hospital in Belgium, when we said we can bring her out of coma, when she was in Glasgow 3, which is literally a heartbeat, there was no brain activities, the doctors called me a charlatan. Within 7 days, the girl recognized the mother, recognized the father, recognized the family, and by Belgian law, the machine should have been turned off by 6th of May 2009 because the body was dead. The girl is alive. She's been tested by scientists out of Liège University with a collaboration from scientists from Cambridge University and scientists from Israel to confirm that she's fully conscious. She recognizes the whole condition, and we have videos of it which has been sent to us by the mother to confirm it was the right decision for us to allow a body, a human being, to live and not to be killed by present knowledge in the world of science. The reason why we got it developed, I pushed ahead with the medical application of the technology, is that we are very much running operation parallel or the same, or any operation a space technology development organization does as we do. NASA does the same, Russian Space Agency does the same, Iranian Space Agency does the same, the Chinese Space Agency does the same, is that we try to cover all aspects of it, the medical, the food, the energy for space, and lift and motion. So for me, has been the point that we cannot take all the medicine to space. We cannot take all the doctors with us to space. There will be more medicine than cargo to cover the headaches, the migraine attacks, the heart attacks, and there'll be more doctors than the astronauts to do the heart operation if somebody goes sick, or to, God knows, do an amputation or whatever comes up. So the whole concept is that we are making one system in space. We do not need, even if we come in touch with new diseases and germs, we can't fly all the way back to Earth for somebody done a clinical trials for 10 years to see what the results are. All diseases are energy based, are magnetic field based, and they are plasmatic magnetic field based. So now we're developing one system that in space we don't need to carry any medicine. And that's the whole objects of the production of getting involved in the material side of the medical application. We are not in competition with pharmaceuticals. Our objectives are space only. So we're developing a technology where in space, one system can handle most and all the diseases known and to be come across in the space for us, because space is full of viruses. So it's the same with the food production. We cannot carry food. At the moment, the Americans are planning 2020 to Mars, 22 months travel. They have to foresee every drop of water that the astronauts or the pilots or whatever, passengers of these systems will drink, every food they might consume. Now we have developed a technology that we don't even need to carry to food, because we can use this process of the cycling of CO2 from the human body to give body enough energy and food that it can travel to deep space without depending on food from base, which is Earth. The same is with the energy. Energy process, at the moment, they talk about solar cells and all sorts of things. In deep space, there is no solar energy and light. So, but the space is full of residual magnetic field of operations of the bodies like the sun and other galaxies. So we developed a technology where we can absorb all these minute energies and collect them and turn them into light or energy for lighting. And we show this with a torch system, which we have shown before. And that's another process, that we being independent from Earth for supply. The same goes with feeding people. People are used to eating solid food, so we had to face in recent past that we have to produce something solid at the digestion system, otherwise it bleeds if you don't feed it. So we use the CO2. We have developed a technology where we can produce CO2 as a solid at room temperature. It's never been known. They said this is crazy, cannot be done. The material has been tested by the scientists at Ghent University. We have published in the second book all the documents, all their finding, all the graphs of the infrared and spectroscopies to confirm this is a new material. And in reality, if you tell me what is a CO2, how can a gas be solid state at the room temperature, is impossible. We always say a very simple thing. Just pinch your own body, pinch your own skin, pinch your own flesh. What is it made of? Amino acids, nitrogen, hydrogen, carbon, and oxygen. You should be a floating balloon. Why are we solid? Because up to now, we never understood the real fourth state of matter. We are made of gases, so we should be a balloon. And we are not, because we are solid. And how this solid comes to be is that this is what we call the real fourth state of matter. All the matters, solid, gas, and liquids, are externally affected environmental effects on the matter. But now that we understand the creation of gravity and magnetic fields, we understand that if you change the parameters internally of the elements, the magnetic field or gravitational field, you can achieve a solid state at any temperature, any pressure, anywhere in the universe. So, in fact, on Earth, these gases, when they come together in a certain combination, at a certain vacuum condition of the body, they change themselves to solid state. That's why it's our meat, this is our flesh. And we've shown this for the first time. In fact, I can show you a CO2 in a liquid form. This is a CO2. We don't say it's been tested by the scientists in Ghent University. And funny enough, as I explained to you, that I was arrested by the Canadians. Canadians have literally tested every single tube which was with me. The black markings are the gift of the Canadian government. And then they said they'll give me the report on it, and then they classified the report because it was too hot to release. So, in a way, this is a CO2 in a liquid form, and it shows it's at room temperature, at room pressure. So, this is exactly how every human body is. And in fact,
it's also closed. When you put off a capsule, I saw it was also closed.
What do you mean? No, it's open.
Is it so? Oh, bizarre.
Yeah.
Video.
And at the same time, if you can process it further, this is CO2 solid state. But in this needs a lot of processing to go from liquid to solid. But now, in a very easy way, if you want to see, this is a methane gas. Methane gas in a solid state. And you can see the methane gas in a liquid state. And this is literally, that's what we call CH4. These things have a lot of applications, and if you look at the CO2 in a liquid state, it's very much the color of the brain of the human. This allows us to build next generation of computers. This is a nano state material of the gas, what we call GANS, which is gas at nano state. This allows for the next generation of the computers which are not connection dependent. We don't see wires in the brain of human being. It's the way the nanomaterial communicate and connect with each other. Now we can build the next generation. We are in that process. Because when we go to space, and with the space technology we developed, when I can go faster than the speed of light, which is very soon it'll be shown it can be done, because Einstein said E is equal to mc squared. And you cannot go faster than the speed of light. You cannot go faster than the speed of light in a matter environment. If you can break into the magnetic fields which are above matter environment, you can go at any speed, hundreds and thousands of times faster than the speed of light. I have explained this in the 2 books I published, and it's been published in past 12 months, 18 months. So in a way, we've broken from the taboo of Einstein that we cannot go faster than the speed of light. Because in fact, when you create magnetic field and gravitational field at the same time, the speed of light becomes irrelevant as your mass is independent. What does this mean? For example, as you create magnetic and gravitational field at the same time, all you need to do, you keep the mass the same of your aircraft, you tune to the magnetic and gravitational field the strength of, let's say, Mars. You don't need any fuel. The gravitation of the Mars will pull you much faster than anything that you can spend with rocket fuel or a propulsion to get there. Americans are planning 7-month trip to get there. With the gravitational system which we developed, we're talking 24 hours, 48 hours return trip, because it's not that it's impossible. If you listen to the broadcast or the publication which has been put out by NASA, they're expecting to go to moon in 2015, which is another 40 years from now, within 4 hours. And that's accepting propulsion plasma. We are doing the same thing, but we use the propulsion magnetic field positioning, what we call gravitational positioning, and it's very simple. We don't burn any fuel. The time of burning fuel is finished. There is no time to burn fuel. In the universe, we don't see Earth, which has been going around for some billions of years and is going for 100 billions of years. Every now and then a fuel tanker comes and fuels the Earth. This doesn't happen. Earth creates magnetic fields and gravitational fields at the same time, and that, the two together, finds its position in respect to the sun, so it keeps its distance. And the same combination, it gives Earth the speeds of its rotation and its position while it's traveling. If you ask a lot of people at the moment, what's the fastest you ever traveled, they tell you maybe a jumbo jet, 900, 1,000 kilometers an hour. Unless you've been astronaut, you've done a 40,000 kilometers an hour. But if you look at the reality, all of us and all our ancestors, from the time the Earth has been created, we all been traveling faster than Concorde and anything else at 1,600 kilometers an hour. That's why we have the 24 hours. The Earth rotates on its axis 1,600 kilometers an hour plus. It hasn't changed. We don't see any wings on the side of the Earth, and we don't see any rockets and propulsion that determines it, because we got enough satellites. We looked at it. But at the same time, the same planet rotates at 100,000 kilometers an hour around its sun. Again, we don't see any rocket propulsion. Why? How it works? In the universe, everything works on the positioning of magnetic fields. And then they say the solar system itself is traveling within its galaxy at 1 million kilometers an hour, or the whole universe is working at 1 million plus kilometers an hour. So in reality, the time and the space of the speed is totally dependent on how and what strength magnetic field in respect to the position you are or you want to be, you create and generate. So the theory of E is called mc squared is totally out of the window. It's not out of the window, but in fact it's only applicable to Earth magnetic fields. The other breakthrough with this technology has been, which is very interesting, is that if you ask any theoretical nuclear physicist, what is an electron? Ask any physicist, what is an electron? What is inside an electron? They cannot answer you. They say, we don't know. But we know it rotates and flies around its center, the proton, at a high speed. When you look at the atom on the equipment which are available at the moment, you see a fizzy light. That's how we know what electron is. But if you ask what is inside the electron, they say we don't know. It's very simple. For the first time, we have explained electron is a plasma. And it's got exactly the same content as a proton, which is in the center. If you think it's a bit funny, it's not acceptable, it's very simple. We say in the nuclear physics, in nuclear industry, when a neutron divides, it makes an atom, which is actually a proton and its electron. And you ask yourself very simple, if you have a bottle of water and you put 3/4 of it in one glass and you put another quarter of it in another glass, what is in the smaller portion? Exactly what was in the main ingredient. It's the same water. So electron is a plasma, but in a smaller quantity than its proton. So for the first time we can explain that electron is a plasma. And we use this property in our space technology. When we want to lift heavy masses, we use the plasma of the electron. We know how to strip it, we know how to open it. And when we want to lift heavier masses, we use the magnetic field, which is within the plasma. But we're going a step further. The step further is that what we call plasma technology. Plasma technology has been made a lot of. But in fact, if you open the plasma itself, you find out matter, which is what is tangible, is at the end of the magnetic field spectrum. There are higher energetic, stronger magnetic field within the center of the plasma of a proton, for example, where as it unwinds and it slows down in its strength, it becomes matter.